It's April in Iowa. A farmer has exactly 10 days to plant 2,000 acres of corn. Miss the window, yield drops 2% for every day he's late. That's $40,000 per day gone. His planter costs $500,000. It carries 36 cameras, an NVIDIA GPU, centimeter-accurate satellite positioning, and a cellular modem streaming telemetry to the cloud in real time. This single machine generates more data per hour than a Tesla on autopilot. But if one sensor fails, he can't fix it. He has to call a John Deere dealer, wait for a certified technician to drive out, and watch them plug in a proprietary laptop just to authorize the replacement part. This is the most sophisticated computer network most people have never heard of, and there's a war over who gets to control it. 5 layers. From the metal to the cloud. Let's go. So that $500,000 planter, what's actually inside it? A CAN bus, controller area network. One communication backbone connecting every electronic component on the machine, engine, transmission, hydraulics, GPS, and every sensor on every implement. Think of it like Ethernet for heavy machinery, except it was designed by Bosch in 1986 for cars, and now it's running the most complex sensor networks in agriculture. On a 24-row John Deere planter, each row carries 3 sensors. One measures downforce, the exact pressure pushing a seed into the soil. Another tracks seed spacing. A third confirms the seed actually dropped. That's 72 sensors. One machine, all firing data onto the same bus in real time. And that's just planting. At harvest, a combine adds yield monitors, moisture sensors, separator loss detectors. The CAN bus on a modern combine carries more simultaneous traffic than most passenger cars. But here's the catch, every one of those messages is encrypted. John Deere locks the protocol. Independent shops can't read it. Farmers can't diagnose their own machines. The nervous system works great. You're just not allowed to look at it. Okay, so we have 72 sensors screaming data onto a bus. Something needs to make decisions. First, meet See and Spray Ultimate. 36 high-resolution cameras mounted across a 120-foot spray boom. Together, they photograph 2,100 square feet of ground every second as the sprayer moves through the field at 12 miles per hour. Each frame feeds into a neural network running on NVIDIA Jetson Xavier processors. The network does pixel-level semantic segmentation, every single pixel classified as crop, weed, or bare soil. When it spots a weed, one nozzle fires, a patch as small as 4 inches. The crop next to it, untouched. No blanket spraying. Iowa State field trials measured herbicide savings between 44% and 91%. On a 5,000-acre farm, that's tens of thousands of dollars in chemicals that never hit the ground and never hit the water table. This is real-time inference at 12 miles per hour. Every classification decision routes back through that CAN bus to the individual nozzles. But the model, proprietary, farmers can't retrain it, can't adapt it to their specific fields, can't even inspect what it's classifying. Sensing a pattern. None of this works without knowing exactly where you are. And I don't mean phone GPS somewhere in this parking lot. I mean 2 centimeters. Here's why. At planting, this year's rows must line up with last year's rows. For cultivation, drainage, harvest. At harvest, the combine header tracks the exact crop boundary. 2 centimeters is the difference between a clean pass and a destroyed row. John Deere's answer, Starfire, a proprietary GNSS receiver with RTK correction, real-time kinematic. How it works, a fixed base station receives the same satellite signals as the tractor. It knows its own position to the millimeter, so it calculates atmospheric error in real time and broadcasts corrections to every machine within a 12-mile radius. The tractor applies those corrections. Result, 2 centimeter accuracy. Repeatable, year after year, pass after pass. A base station costs $5,000 to $10,000. Some states run free RTK networks, but John Deere's Starfire That's a $1,500 subscription per year, per machine. For math your tractor already knows how to do. So we've got sensors, a brain, and centimeter positioning. Now John Deere connects it all to the internet. Every new machine ships with a modular telematics gateway, the MTG, a cellular modem baked into the frame. It pulls data off the CAN bus, fuel, engine hours, GPS coordinates, diagnostic codes, and streams it to John Deere's operations center. They're cloud. But it goes way beyond machine health. Planting population maps, yield maps, application records, all transferred automatically, machine to cloud. No USB drives, no laptop in the cab. And it flows both ways. An agronomist in an office can push variable rate prescriptions down to the planter, zone-by-zone seed population and fertilizer rates, built from last year's yield data. John Deere even opened a developer API. Third parties pull machine data, field boundaries, yield records through REST endpoints. Climate Corp, Farmer's Edge, Granular, all built on top. The tractor is no longer a machine. It's a platform, and John Deere is the gatekeeper. Which brings us to the real question. Remember the farmer from the intro. 10 days, $40,000 a day. A sensor breaks. The part costs $200, but he can't swap it himself. The machine won't boot without John Deere's software authorizing the new component. A $200 fix becomes a $1,000 service call and a 2-day wait, in a window where every day costs $40,000. So farmers started hacking their own tractors. In the American Midwest, pirated firmware from Ukraine and Poland circulates on invite-only forums. Diagnostic tools, license key generators, reverse-engineered cables, a black market for machines you already own. At Cal Poly, students are decoding CAN bus messages frame by frame, funded by iFixit. The Library of Congress exempted tractors from the DMCA. Over 20 states introduced right to repair bills. John Deere says it's about safety and emissions. Farmers say they paid $500,000 for a machine they're not allowed to maintain. Both sides have a point, but only one side has the encryption keys. 5 layers deep. CAN bus, onboard AI, centimeter GPS, cloud telemetry, and a legal fight that could reshape who actually owns the machines that feed us. Next time, how a combine harvester fuses 6 different sensors to weigh your food row by row, bushel by bushel, in real time. Hit subscribe before John Deere locks that behind a paywall too.